Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to unpack a truly beautiful narrative all about unlocking your hidden potential. You know, sometimes the absolute most profound lessons come from the simplest stories. And today, we're looking at the incredible journey of something literally tiny, just to see what it can teach us about our own capacity for greatness.
So, picture this. It's a bright, sunny morning, and lying right there on the ground is a tiny, seemingly insignificant seed. It looks around and thinks, I am so small. I can't become anything. I mean, we can all relate to that paralyzing feeling of insignificance, right? This little seed is looking at the vast, complex world around it and just feeling completely overwhelmed by its own size. It's practically defeated itself before it even tried to grow.
Section 1. Wisdom from a Bird, the Mentor's Call.
In almost every great journey, a mentor usually appears exactly when they're most needed. While the seed is trapped in its present moment, totally blinded by its physical limitations and kind of wallowing in self-doubt, a wise bird overhears its complaining and just smiles. The bird swoops in with a totally different perspective, telling the seed, every big tree was once a tiny seed, you just have to be patient. And this brilliantly illustrates the profound contrast in mindset between limiting self-doubt and visionary patience.
Moving on to Section 2, the elements of growth, the trials and process.
The truly amazing thing here is that the seed actually listens. It takes that mentor's wisdom straight to heart, and it begins to face the elemental, actionable steps required to actually start growing. First, rain falls from the sky, and our little seed drinks in that much-needed water. Then the warm sun comes out, allowing the seed to soak up all that heat and energy. And finally, the critical breakthrough. The seed pushes out a tiny root. It literally takes the resources from the sky and the sun and creates the very first physical manifestation of its potential. And then, just a few days later, a small green sprout finally pops up above the soil. The seed realizes, I am growing. You can almost feel that pure happiness, right? That sudden, vibrant burst of confidence. The action it took, relying on the rain and the sun and doing all that hard work hidden underground, is actually paying off for real.
Which brings us to Section 3, Becoming a Beautiful Tree, the Passage of Time.
Now, getting a sprout is a fantastic start, but true, lasting growth, that is not an overnight phenomenon. It requires immense patience. This timeline maps out the journey perfectly. We started on that sunny morning with a tiny seed lying on the ground, full of doubt. A few days later, the green sprout bravely makes an appearance. But notice the required patience in what happens next. Weeks pass. During these weeks, the little plant is busy getting stronger, its leaves growing bigger and broader to capture even more of that warm sun. Until finally, months later, that tiny seed has fully transformed into a beautiful, towering tree.
And here is the ultimate climax of the story. Birds built nests in its branches, and children rested under its shade. What's truly fascinating here is the incredible shift in focus. Think about it. The seed's journey started out as a deeply internal struggle for personal growth, but that individual growth ultimately created a massive boon for the entire surrounding world. By reaching its own full potential, it is now providing shelter, safety, and joy for others.
Let's bring it all together in Section 4, the ultimate lesson, what we can learn.
It's a wonderful, uplifting narrative, but why does this fable actually matter for us? Well, the source text tells us that the fully grown tree actually smiled, remembering the day it thought it was just too small to become anything. And that cements our core lesson here. Never think you are too small to do something great. Your current size, your current resources, or your current starting point absolutely do not dictate your ultimate potential.
So the crucial point is understanding exactly how to bridge the gap between being that tiny seed and becoming that massive tree. The text outlines 3 specific ingredients for greatness. First up, patience, just allowing time to do its work. Second, hard work, pushing those roots into the ground and constantly stretching leaves toward the sun. And third, kindness, which reflects how the tree ultimately gives back by providing shade and shelter to the birds and the children. These are the fundamental traits that'll help you grow into something truly amazing.
Which leads us perfectly to our final thought for today. The text leaves us with a wonderfully provocative question, and I want to pose it directly to you right now. If you were a tiny seed, what kind of tree would you like to become? It's a fun question, sure, but it's also deeply profound. We all start small, but armed with patience, hard work, and kindness, what kind of shade will you eventually provide for the world? Thank you so much for exploring this journey with me, and I really hope this leaves you eager to uncover your own incredible potential.